Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're exploring something,
Inspiring.
yeah, definitely inspiring. I mean, turning a tough situation into, something really positive.
Absolutely. And the best part is this deep dive is based on rockingultra.com. They're this fantastic blog.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, with articles on running for like everyone from beginners to those hardcore ultramarathoners.
Right, and they get into the mental side of running and life, right?
Yes, that's what makes them so unique.
That's so cool.
Plus, full disclosure, we're actually AI voices, kind of like those summaries you see online.
Oh wow.
But specifically for Rocking Ultra's articles.
So basically, we're like the shortcut to all the good stuff.
Exactly. We pull out the gems, those golden nuggets of knowledge.
I love it. Okay, so today's gem, Iain Ward.
Ah, yes, the king of chemo.
Rocking Ultra did a phenomenal job with his story.
They did.
It all starts back in 2019, just before his 31st birthday, when he's diagnosed with a grade 3 brain tumor.
And here's the thing. The diagnosis was completely by chance.
Really?
He was part of a medical trial, always been interested in those, and they needed a brain scan
Wow.
as part of the process, and bam, there it was.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Right, but for something so serious?
He called himself the luckiest unlucky man in the world.
He did, and to top it off, no symptoms.
No headaches, nothing.
Nope, no dizziness, nothing. It's crazy to think how long it could have gone undetected.
It really is a wake-up call.
Absolutely.
But what struck me was his reaction to the diagnosis.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd expect, fear, despair, anger. But Iain, he chose a different path.
He decided to channel all that energy into something positive, something to inspire others.
Like what?
He set his sights on breaking the world record for marathon fundraising.
Whoa, how much is that?
Over 2.3 million pounds.
You're kidding.
And to add a little fun to the mix, he also wanted to set another world record for the fastest marathon dressed as a video game character.
Wait a minute, running a marathon in full costume.
Yeah, that's Iain for you, always pushing the limits.
I could barely make it to the mailbox without getting winded.
Uh-huh. But seriously, though, these goals weren't just about personal achievement for him.
Right.
They were about connecting with people, raising awareness for cancer research, and showing that even facing adversity, you can find joy and purpose.
That's really powerful. Okay, so let's talk about the surgery to remove the tumor-awake craniotomy.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense procedure.
Staying awake while they operate on your brain.
They needed him conscious to probe different areas, asking him to, identify images or say certain words.
Yeah.
It helped them map out critical areas to avoid damaging them during the surgery.
That sounds so scary.
Rocking Ultra described it like a scene from a Scorsese film.
Whoa.
Not for the faint of heart, he didn't experience pain, but he could feel the pressure. And apparently, the hardest part was staying perfectly still for 4 hours.
I can't even imagine.
Even during brain surgery, Iain found humor.
Like what?
He mentioned his hips were cramping so badly by the end they actually had to stop the surgery.
He sounds like a real character.
He is. But this experience also introduced him to the concept of brain plasticity.
Brain plasticity.
Yeah, the brain's ability to rewire itself after trauma. It served as a powerful metaphor for him, how we can adapt and evolve even when facing immense challenges.
That's amazing. And this is where things get even more interesting. If you're intrigued by Iain's story, make sure to visit rockingultra.com.
They've got a whole section dedicated to his journey articles, videos, links to his social media even.
And don't forget,
Oh, yeah, you can find their books on Amazon if you're looking for a deeper dive.
great suggestion, but for now we'll pause here and pick up Iain's story in part 2 of this deep dive.
Yeah.
Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next.
It's going to be great. Welcome back. Picking up where we left off with Iain Ward and his incredible story, as told by rockingultra.com.
Yes, their blog is awesome, by the way.
It really is. They've got those articles on running mental strength and inspiring stories just like this one.
Oh, and they have books on Amazon too, right?
Yes. For those who like to, really dive in.
So Iain was recovering from brain surgery and had these ambitious goals.
He did.
But rockingultra.com, they don't just give us the overview. They actually break down how he made it happen.
Yeah, that's what I love about their content. It's not just what happened, but the strategy behind it all.
Totally. So Iain's approach to fundraising was pretty innovative, right?
It was. He was really smart about it.
Remind me, how did he raise millions of pounds for cancer research?
Social media.
Uh,
Platforms like TikTok and Instagram,
Makes sense. Everyone's on those.
Exactly. And his videos, they were like this perfect mix of humor, motivation, and vulnerability.
So as personal, people connecting with his journey.
Exactly. And his follower count just exploded.
I bet. But how did that translate into actual money for research?
He was clever about it. Instead of just asking for donations, he encouraged his followers to engage with his content.
Like and share and all that.
Exactly. Likes, comments, shares, you name it.
Okay, but how did that help?
Visibility, the more followers he had, the more attractive he became to sponsors.
Ah, so companies wanted to be a part of it.
Exactly. They saw the incredible community he was building and offered sponsorships, often directly funding the research.
So just by following him, people were contributing to a cause.
That's the beauty of it, a win-win, and rockingultra.com explains it so well. You know, how he built this amazing community.
We've got the marathons, the social media, but there were other challenges too, right?
Oh, yeah, like his epic cycling adventure across America?
He cycled across the U.S.
He did, in 2023 with his friend Adi Phelan.
Wow, and how far was that?
Over 3,400 miles.
3,400 miles on a bike.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Uh-huh. It was more than just a physical challenge for them, though.
Oh,
They
wait.
used it to raise awareness and funds for cancer research and mental health.
Always those two causes.
It's like a thread woven through everything he does.
They didn't just stick to the interstates, did they?
Nope. They went through deserts, mountains, small towns, you name it.
That's awesome.
It was all about connecting with people, sharing their stories, spreading their message.
I bet they had some amazing encounters along the way.
They did. Rocking Ultra mentioned meeting cancer survivors, supporters, everyday people, inspired by Iain's journey.
Sounds like an adventure movie waiting to happen.
Doesn't it?
Okay, wait, there's more, right? The marathons.
Ah, yes, 12 marathons in 12 months.
You ran 12 marathons in a year.
All over the world, Boston, Berlin, Antarctica, Istanbul.
Wow, that's incredible.
Each one was like a symbolic act of defiance against his diagnosis, you know?
Showing that he wouldn't let it define his limits.
Exactly. And you can see it all on rockingultra.com. They've got maps, photos, the whole shebang.
It's so inspiring. And all this while managing his health and treatments.
It makes you realize, you know, the mental and physical strength it takes.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another important point.
Iain's commitment to mental well-being.
Yes.
It's not just something he talks about. It's deeply personal for him.
Because of his friend, right?
Yeah, over a decade ago, he lost a close friend to suicide.
I remember reading that.
That experience shaped his understanding of how crucial mental health support is.
Especially for those facing, life-altering diagnoses.
Exactly. A cancer diagnosis is overwhelming on so many levels. The physical, emotional, and even spiritual aspects and the treatments themselves can be so draining.
Iain said, cancer treatment can take so much from a person.
He did, and he's fortunate that his treatment hasn't, significantly impacted his physical abilities.
But he knows that's not the case for everyone.
Exactly. He wants to break down the stigma around mental health, encourage open conversations about the struggles and fears.
It's like he's championing a more holistic approach to healing.
Mind and body.
That's so important.
Rocking Ultra also explores another aspect of his story, his perspective on relationships.
Oh, that's interesting. It must be tough navigating relationships with a terminal diagnosis.
It is, and Iain is very open about it.
What does he say?
He's talked about wanting a partner, a meaningful relationship, but the difficulty of asking someone to fall in love knowing there's potential for loss.
That must be such a hard conversation.
It is, but he's pragmatic about it.
How so?
He focuses on what he can control, embraces the present moment, lives as fully as possible.
That's a great mindset.
It really is. And this reminds me of another thing Rocking Ultra emphasized.
What's that?
His rejection of the traditional language around cancer.
Like the battle and survival metaphors.
Exactly. He argues those terms imply a sense of control that isn't always there.
Interesting, because it often feels like something that happens to you.
Right, not something you can always fight.
So he's reclaiming the narrative, focusing on what feels authentic.
Exactly. Instead of battling, he's choosing to live with resilience, embracing his community and focusing on living fully.
And his story has had such a ripple effect.
In so many ways, the funds raise the awareness, the personal connections.
Rocking Ultra shared a message from a follower who said, I was lying in bed scrolling through my phone, and your video gave me the strength to get up.
Powerful stuff, right?
It really shows the impact of authenticity and human connection.
And for Iain, those moments are what it's all about.
He said, if I can help someone take one small step forward, then everything I'm doing is worth it.
It's not about the money or the records, but about inspiring others.
To find strength in the face of adversity.
Exactly. It's incredible how he turned this challenge into a catalyst for positive change.
A true testament to the human spirit.
Absolutely. And you know what? He's not done yet.
Really.
rockingultra.com hinted at his next adventure, circumnavigating the globe using only human power.
Wait, what does that even mean?
Running, cycling,
He's
walkers.
going to travel the entire world just using his own 2 feet and a bike.
It's mind-blowing, right? Always pushing boundaries, showing what's possible.
Iain Ward truly embodies the king of chemo.
He does.
Taking control, redefining what it means to live with a terminal diagnosis, and inspiring so many along the way.
He really is amazing if you want to learn more about him or just explore running mental strength or inspiring stories.
Check out rockingultra.com.
They've got it all, or you can find their books on Amazon.
Great advice. And speaking of inspiration,
We'll be back for the final part of this deep dive
where we'll unpack some key takeaways from Iain's journey.
and discuss how his mindset can empower us all.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the inspiring world of the king of chemo, Iain Ward.
It's been an incredible journey so far, hasn't it?
It really has. And a big shout out to rockingultra.com for bringing us his story.
Yes, they've done a phenomenal job.
They have such great articles on running mental strength, you name it.
And their books on Amazon are a must-read for anyone who wants to really dive deep.
Okay, so reflecting on Iain's journey, what are some key takeaways that stand out for you?
Well, for me, it's got to be his unwavering positivity,
Yeah, I mean, facing a terminal diagnosis and still choosing to focus on the good, on living a meaningful life and inspiring others.
Exactly. He could have easily given in to despair, but instead he turned his experience into something so positive.
It's like that quote, the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something.
Iain definitely embodies that, doesn't he?
He does. And his fundraising approach was genius, too.
Oh, absolutely. Using social media to create a win-win for everyone.
Right? Building a massive following, attracting sponsorships that directly fund cancer research.
And making it so easy for people to contribute just by being part of his community.
It really makes you think about how we can all use our own platforms to make a difference.
Speaking of making a difference, we can't forget his commitment to mental health advocacy.
Yeah, being so open about his own struggles
Mm-hmm.
and the impact of losing his friend to suicide.
It's incredibly powerful, especially in the context of serious illnesses.
He's breaking down the stigma, showing that it's okay to not be okay,
To talk about our fears, to seek support.
and his focus on what he can control.
Right, he can't control the diagnosis, but he can control how he responds to it.
Choosing to live fully in the present, connecting with others, pursuing his passions, making a positive impact.
That's something we can all apply to our own lives, isn't it?
Absolutely. And his perspective on the language around cancer.
Rejecting battle and survival.
It shifts the focus to a more holistic approach to living with a reality.
Reclaiming the narrative, finding strength in vulnerability, resilience and acceptance, connection in community.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, thanks to rockingultra.com,
Of course.
I'm left with a sense of hope and possibility. Life can be tough, but we have the power to choose our response, to find meaning and purpose.
And to make a positive impact on the world.
If you want to learn more about Iain's story, or explore running mental strength and living a fulfilling life,
Head over to rockingultra.com or check out their books on Amazon.
you won't regret it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the King of Chemo.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep rocking, keep learning, and keep choosing hope.